I guess I'm just going to stick to this screen. So, let's go ahead and dive in. So, last we had left off, our group of adventurers, they had found themselves leaving the city of Sandpoint with quite a bit of new information surrounding their current quest and objective. The party finds themselves in a situation where they are trying to defuse a rather dangerous situation. Currently finding themselves in the middle of this cult that is trying to revive this old dead house that once belonged to the nation that they're all currently living in, House Markle. And all of these people surrounding House Markle, apparently 12 of them. These people trying to find these ancient dwarven artifacts for some reason. Long dead and long gone in these ancient ruins. All of them trying to find these items to get an edge. Now, the party has been hired by one of the lords, Lord Bartold of Sandpoint, in an effort to keep this under wraps and to keep it as closed to the public as possible. They hired one ship with a crew of about 15 to take the party from destination to destination to find these items, to find these cultists, and put an end to it once and for all. So, the party got on that boat, and they headed towards their first stop, which is Raven Rock, the capital city of Iverion, the nation that they're in. Now, issues began to arise, as there are currently some conflicts between some party members, whether that just means that some party members are suspicious of others, or something that might be a little tense. On top of that, there is some conflict between the crew members, the people who were hired to take the party from place to place, and the party members. And so there are a lot of relationships there to develop. The first stop on the way was the party was informed that the islands surrounding the Giant's Eye, the sea that they are traveling through in order to get to Raven Rock, the sea that they're traveling through is either cursed or blessed, depending on which way you look at it, where islands will randomly sink underneath the sea level and reappear somewhere else in different shapes with different things, and they change randomly and sporadically. So any maps or cartography that is done is almost worthless in the Giant's Eye, because anything and everything they find eventually disappears. So the party, intrigued by this, they decide that as soon as there's one island that is found, they want to go investigate and see what exactly is here. So they dock on the island and they notice a few things. For one, there are individuals on this ship who are... or individuals on this island who belong to the Four Horsemen, a pirate faction that specializes in finding people and creatures that are exotic and interesting, and pretty much capturing them and then selling them. Preferably alive, but sometimes even a dead corpse can be entertaining to look at to the right fucked up kind of crowd. So, the party discovers that with Grok's knowledge of the different pirate factions that exist around the world. Party then investigating the island further, they find a strange man. Deep brown skin, violet eyes, dread hair, wearing almost no clothes but tattered linen pants. Somebody who was shipwrecked and apparently was a prisoner of these Four Horsemen. The issue is he can't remember why and has no memory of anything other than the final moments before the ship was sunk, and apparently sunk by these individuals by the name of the Horned Corsairs. So, the party taking back their friend, their new consort, this new person that they found, hoping to discover something about them, they start taking him back to the ship, and as they do, they find that they're of pirates who have returned to the ruins where they first found those tents. Combat ensued after some words being exchanged between Grok and their captain, Captain Harvester. And eventually, during this fight, Grok ends up going unconscious, dropping to 0 hit points in this shrouded mist of fog, ethereal and a sickly green that seems to, whenever you inhale, seems to actually damage your internal organs, decaying them. So, as Grok is fighting this captain, the fog ensues, and in the fog, the captain, Captain Harvester, is able to escape. He's able to make his way out, jump off into the ocean, or into the sea, and swim around the coast of the island before anybody is able to pursue him. As conflict comes to a close, Izzy decides to send out her pseudo-dragon familiar, Lizzie, into the forest to try and see if anywhere on this island she might be able to see Captain Harvester. Now, sadly, Lizzie's passive perception was not high enough to see an apparently stealthed Captain Harvester, who ends up killing Lizzie. So, the connection is severed between Izzy and Lizzie, Izzy knowing what that means. And in that moment, there is some intense dialogue that is exchanged between the party and Izzy, where Izzy wants to run in to the forest after Captain Harvester. So, with that, I would like to open it up to all of you. You see Izzy begin to make her way into that forest, chasing after this pirate captain. What do all of you want to do?
Okay, where are we still just like in our retrospective spots? Like as soon as the combat ended?
Yeah, you would be about. Like everybody sort of watching over the edge, seeing if they could see Captain Harvester, and then after, well, actually, Izzy, I guess you would not be there yet. Like you wouldn't be able to be by the jungle yet, just because you had jumped down into the water.
I thought where we had ended is I was back up. I told them that Izzy had seen him and then was
You're right.
killed, and then I ran off into the forest.
Yeah, you would be, after saying that and beginning to run, you would be right about there, as they then have a moment to react or do anything if they so choose.
Okay, I think first things first, Nelfian would have kind of went over to help Rock on his feet to see if he can even stand. And I think Eurydice had shouted at Lizzie or Izzy. I'm not sure what you said.
I think I shouted like something along the lines of "Where are you going?" or something. It's not a good idea.
I think it was something similar, and then Izzy had replied that he killed her and I'm going to kill him type thing.
Okay, then Barry would say back, "Stay here, okay? Drak is hurt. Everybody just needs a minute. If you go after him now, it's not a good idea."
If I go after him now, he won't be a threat later. And he killed my dragon.
Go after him now. You could very well get yourself killed.
At this point, Nelfian would have his arm underneath Grak, helping him up, and he'll just kind of look over to just say, "Listen, I understand your anger, but we have a bit of a situation. Let's regroup, and then we'll figure it out." And then, I don't know, how is Grok? Is he dead? How's he doing?
No, between the health potion.
Yeah,
and
Grok's
the
not so hot.
laying on hands, yeah, you
guys gave him potions. He should be okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm a bit knackered, to be fair. I'm not on the best of shape. That fucking knobhead slashing at me with look like fucking fish hooks. They do quite a bit more than you think, to be fair.
Exactly. And with him weakened, we can end this quickly so we
No.
don't have to deal with him in the future.
Is it what I'm saying is I'm in no shape to I'm sorry about Lizzie, but I'm a bit fucked, to be fair. Wait, they're stuck on the island. We've got the ship out. They're fucked.
Is there any movement, Joe, from the trees, like in the direction that Izzy's at?
At this point, no. No, I mean, even before that, no, because he jumped off the side of the cliffside, jumped into the water, and is who knows where now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I just know
Okay.
that. Go ahead.
Can I go check that our rowboat's still there?
Yeah, you make your way, you look over the cliffside, and you can see Leah is actually just sort of waiting by the rowboat, as she was told to just wait there in the meantime.
Once Grok is kind of up on his feet, Nelf is gonna jog over here and just kind of take a look down here. Can I see anything down this way, like any movement? I say that because I remember it being said that there was a crew of like what 15 or so on this island, and we killed not 15.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Starting off right today, baby.
So you don't hear any sounds of shouting or movement close to you, but the thing that you do catch that is slightly alarming is typically when there are larger than one or two groups of people moving through an island or through a forest or through any type of natural fauna where there might be animals or birds in particular, you can start to hear the rustling of trees as if there were birds flying from the tops of trees, as if there was a larger group of individuals moving. It doesn't seem like it's moving towards you. The birds are actually flying towards you, which probably means that that larger group of people is moving away from you, as the birds are flying in the opposite direction of the noise.
Yeah. Nothing, just kind of like puts his hands like behind his head and just kind of sighs. I don't know if this is worth it anymore. Did we even find anything of value? Izzy, I understand that this is rough for you, but it might be better that we just kind of take a step back, head back to the ship, regroup, and figure out the best way to approach this. We don't know what's down there. We don't know how many people this guy has. We don't know how long he's been here. And the fucker probably has traps out the ass.
DM question.
Yeah.
Would Izzy's intelligence, I guess, what I'm asking, would it break through her anger to see reason?
I mean,
Or would she be more inclined? Because, I mean, it makes sense, but...
yeah, I would say that
Can I roll a persuasion check? Persuasion check?
that might be a good way to balance it.
With an advantage because I smile and wink at her with my beautiful face.
That's up to
Except for
Izzy.
Izzy doesn't interested in your charms.
Oh, well, fine. Fuck you. That's okay. Didn't need it.
All right, so I'll leave it up to you then, Izzy. With an 18, would that be enough to persuade her?
Yeah, she would kind of huff in anger. So.
And
What you say is smart, and she kind of looks at you sideways. Maybe we should recoup and come back. I do not like the idea of leaving him alive to haunt us later. or hurt somebody else.
Is he? The I don't know if we'll ever see them again. These islands, they shift. They could have been here for fucking years. Could have felt like them for about a week, but they could have been here for about 5 fucking years. I've not been on one of these islands, but I've heard of them, and shit's weird. I mean, it. If you're so desperate, I mean, maybe have a Scott can bring the galleon around and we circle the island, but I don't know if we're ever going to find this island again. So, if you wanted to have a look around in these ruins or what, go for it, but I'm going to strongly suggest we don't go on that forest. I'm saying we get the fuck out.
I see the wisdom of your words. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie. But it would be better to do that. I guess we should see what we can find here and to go back.
Besides, our new friend might have some answers for us if he can remember his own fucking name.
But
And
also, if we don't need those, I'm destroying that. And she'll gesture to the campsite.
oh no, have fun, fucking burn him. I mean, look, if we go around as we sail off, if we see any fucking movement or ruins, I don't give a shit what that fucking captain says. I'll turn the cannons on myself.
Right, she kind of chuckles. She will. I can always count on you to blast something, can't I, Grok?
Well, if it's not me thick fucking head, I've got balls somewhere.
She'll kind of like wipe like one of the tears that she might have had on her face, and then just kind of chuckle and shake her head, and she will go and investigate the tents for anything useful before using chromatic orb to torch the whole campsite.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Guys persuaded me out of it.
Can't say no to those cheekbones.
Oh, we are doing it right today. Hey.
Okay, yeah, all right. Sounds good to me.
Oh.
So as you are poking around and just trying to find something that is valuable, you can see that a lot of these items here in this campsite, Rockton noticed it as he just kind of saw the flag and then moved on. But there is quite a bit of valuable materials here. Things that were salvaged from their ship or maybe had been personal mementos of Captain Harvester. So specifically, looking in the tent, especially the one where you can kind of tell it's his because there are some very, very nice, more almost look like artifacts that would be taken from, like other islands where there had been maybe temples dedicated to some type of strange deity for only those 3 or 4 islands. So I'll say that you find not just this, so 2 different like ancient statues worth about 75 gold each if you can find an antiquities seller, which should be no problem in Raven Rock.
Okay.
So 2 statues, 75 gold each, that are sort of these like rough hewn stone but gem encrusted. But you also find 2 arrows of slaying, and these are 2 arrows of slaying specifically for monstrosities.
Would I've had to identify those, or just because that roll was so high?
I would say just because the roll is so high, you're able to just sort of clock it, and you have this almost like, Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment where you're just picking it up and you're like, oh, I recognize these runes as, Arrow slaying, yes. Oh, you know what? Just because it would be really stupid, or not really stupid.
Are they bolts instead?
We're gonna say they're bolts instead. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I?
I was gonna ask, but
Yeah,
know,
no. They will be
Big
bolts.
perks up. Sorry, what?
Bolts
Spidey sense?
slaying, specifically for monstrosities, not dragons, though.
got it. Monstrosity.
Okay, so you find those, and other than that, you find some bits and pieces of gold and silver and copper. So we'll say 15 gold,
Okay.
32 silver, and then we'll say 140, not that much copper, 145 copper.
5 copper.
Just kind of picking around, rifling through their stuff. But then after that, it's just like shitty pots and bad pillows.
Any papers or journals of anything like notes? Because even if it looks mundane, Izzy would take that to read later.
You do find one journal. Flipping through it, it is pretty waterlogged, but there are some passages in here that seem to be legible. I mean, just barely. A lot of the ink has been smudged and smeared, but there are a few things in here. If you spend some time reading it, you might be able to get some stuff out of it.
Okay, I would still pocket that then. And then walk out of the tent and angle it, if you allow, to send a chromatic orb, a fiery one, through all 3 tents.
Oh, hell yeah. Easy enough. Yeah, you just start blasting. And shooting the orb off, the chromatic orb, you're able to blast through each one of the tents, and they just catch a fire. And you're good to go. They start to burn, and they don't seem to catch on any of the trees nearby. It just mainly stays focused to the 3 tents right in this immediate area.
Where's our friend at? Friendo guy.
He's right
chilling
down
down
by
here?
the he's down there. He's just waiting by the rowboat. He didn't want to be in the way of anything. He also felt like he shouldn't be listening to that conversation.
Now Finn's already going to start heading, after like talking to Eurydice and Twig, he's going to start heading back that way then. Because once that smoke plume is there, I feel like they're going to be fucked and pissed that we're burning their shit. So it's time to leave.
You also do hear Izzy say something about just checking the bodies as you leave. Do you guys want to do that?
Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah, if we're going this way anyway.
Okay, yeah. Make let's see, we'll just say Nalfian and Grox, since you two are right there. Go ahead and make an investigation check, just as you're kind of like passing, seeing if you can see anything useful.
Oop. Hey.
Fucking Grox, man! Look at that.
I know where pirates keep shit.
Yeah, you do. For real. So
It's in their sea pocket.
So most of these pirates, you can tell that most of their valuable possessions were probably lost at sea. As just as you're walking by, you sort of kick in the places where you know people keep valuable stuff. But as you're walking by, you kick one of the pirates. This one that's like right here, right next to you. The first one, actually the one that like got decimated by Leah, like right away. And you kick him, and there's like a tunk sound as you kick. As you sort of lean over and you go to fumble around with the pocket, you can see it's like layered in between several layers of like leather and cloth. But as you pull it out, you find that this pirate had quite a nice revolver. Not sure exactly where they got it from, but it's polished, it's clean. But as you open it, there's no ammunition on the inside.
Ooh. Grok just like picks it out and waves it around like really cavalier. I found a gun!
Nalfin from a distance gives you 2 big thumbs up.
Don't wave it around. Maybe don't.
Don't what?
Don't wave it around.
Oh,
That's how
right.
I point it.
Please tell me it's loaded and he sets it off on accident.
Is it what?
Is it loaded?
Grok just like points it at the corpse and just pulls the trigger like 6 times.
Click, 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 click. Nothing.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Nalf gives you the thumbs up again.
Grok will just put it in the back of his like waistband, and just be like, right, and then just for good measure, kick this other corpse.
You kick it a little too hard, and your foot kind of sinks into the body as it's now starting to like. You can see that even though the fog has been dissipated, there's still like a low rolling fog over the some of the corpses, and you see the fog is just sort of settling on top of this person. And as you go to kick it, it's extra, almost as if the body was drowned.
Ooh.
So your foot kind of goes through the stomach, and you kind of have to pull it back out and wipe it on the mud and sand just to get the weird black gunk off.
Just while they're messing around with the bodies, can I just like duck into this building just to see like if there is anything in it, or if it's just like, you know, just an empty shell of a ruin?
Yeah, make an investigation check as well.
And can I do the same in the upper building?
Sure.
I feel like Twig would kick me if I did not look in this upper building.
Damn, you guys are really.
Fucking at least rolls.
Oh,
I'm going to use my
never mind.
inspiration.
Never mind.
Oh, you're gonna use.
You-
Okay, all right, sure. Let's see.
If I roll none, that one would be pissed. Okay. Take
Okay,
that.
17. So Izzy, we'll start with you. There's a moment where you are just sort of looking around, and you end up stubbing your pinky toe on a small piece of rock, and you kind of, and then you focus, you reevaluate your situation, and you can see that there is at least nothing valuable like that you could take and sell with you, but you can see on some of these stone walls there are some beautiful mosaics that are worn away as there's no roof on here anymore, but you can tell that they're depicting some type of lion-like creature, but with a mane that almost looks like a coat of many colors, where their entire mane and then all along their back, it almost looks to be made, especially when it was new, like that when the sunlight hits it, it would sparkle and change from blue to green to purple to red. And you can see that that lion is standing over a man. And you can tell that that would just be normal human-sized, like you, and this lion is about 3 times larger than that man.
Oh, jeez.
So-
I make a quick sketch if I have time, real quick. Just kind of like a rough sketch of that, and then I would leave if there's nothing else of note on the walls.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, you definitely have time to look at that, and then jot those down in your notes. Make a quick sketch, and then we'll go ahead and jump to Twig. So Twig, as you are looking around this area, you can tell that this maybe at one point in time was some type of sacred area, just from the ziggurat-like structure where there's the larger platform and then raises up into a central, similar platform. You sort of make your way up to that central platform right. Oh, it's not the GM there. This central platform about right here. Just looking around for anything that might be interesting or intriguing or something that sparks your interest. And as you do, you can hear this. And it almost sounds like the floor underneath you is less solid than the area outside of this raised area. So when you're out here, it's dunk, dunk, dunk. But then when you're on top of here, you can almost hear a more hollow sound.
Can I just like quickly look to see if there's any like holes leading into that little cavity?
Yeah, so like on the central platform where you're standing right now?
Yeah, but then also like in the whole like stair area, just like to see if I can look into what's down there.
Okay, so we'll keep the same investigation check from before. You can see that there are no holes that look to be that you can't see into what's there. It seems as though it's completely sealed. all around the stairs, and even going outside over here. It doesn't seem like there's any way to see what is inside the area.
Is there any, like, buttons, levers, anything like that around?
Go ahead and make another investigation check. 18, okay. Alrighty. So as you are making your way around, stepping through the different areas, you can see that all of the stones over here that are kind of like collapsed and look like rubble, there's one stone in this cluster right here that's a completely different. It's almost like Stonehenge. How nobody's really sure how those rocks got there because they're not similar to any of the rocks around the area. Where these rocks, there's one over here that while the rest of them are this like dark gray, almost like cobblestone, there's one that's almost like teal with streaks of light or with streaks of dark blue. That seems to be sitting so awkwardly on the ground, but it's sort of covered up by a few other actual pieces of rubble that have fallen down on it. So you do see that, and that looks pretty significant.
But just like, just like with like the edge of a crossbow, just like kind of nudge it a little.
There's some give.
Okay, she's gonna pick it up, try and see what it is.
So you can't actually pick it up. It seems like it's on like a swivel or something like that. So you kind of move it over to the side, like twist it a little bit.
Before she does that, she's just gonna kind of like duck out the doorway and just say, I think I found something in here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but some kind of trigger?
Hearing that, Nalfian's gonna kind of like shout down to Grok, Twig found something! Just so he knows, and then go over here.
Yeah. And Izzy would go in and help her look at it.
He's gonna keep watching Treeline. Most people know.
You don't get jumped?
Okay, you ready to go ahead and make a perception check for me?
Everybody's rolling really well today, so I don't want to be that one. That one person.
Having that one, you're fine.
I already rolled a 1.
Yeah, we broke the curse already. I can't
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm knocking on the tree, on the table.
Oh, I don't know why it's on advantage. My bad. Might be. It's on 11.
So 11. Alrighty. So you take a look, and you don't really see anything in particular. You do hear a few crows cawing, and then maybe hear some wind rustling the trees, but nothing to really give you any cause for alarm.
Okay.
All right. So, then the three of you are over there. Nalfian, are you helping, or are you just kind of observing?
If I can help in any way, I would help, but I'm not sure he knows what he's there to do.
Okay. All right.
Eventually, Twig would just like start like slowly trying to like rotate or move it whatever direction it wants to go in.
Yeah, if he sees her doing that, he will definitely lend his help.
Okay. All right. So Twig, as you go to move it, there is some pressure there, where just you trying to move it, you do have a bit of a hard time after you get it. Where it seems like it would be about like a 180-degree swivel of this rectangular like aqua stone. As you're trying to bring it around, it seems to just be a little. It needs a little more force, a little more pressure.
Can I get a little help, Nalfian?
Absolutely. And I will help.
Okay, so with the help of Nalfian and Twig and then Izzy, you behind them, all three of you together are able to push that rock, and it starts to get even harder and harder and harder to press open. I'd like probably Nalfian to make an athletics check with advantage.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah, 15, good enough. So, as you are putting pressure into it, pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, eventually it locks into place. And you can hear this very crunchy stone beginning to move and shake until eventually the platform that you were standing on, Twig, begins to slowly push off to the side. Each quadrant sort of moving off into the different corners, and rising up from that central area, you can see a small pedestal that rises up, and, well, sitting on that pedestal, you expect to see something different than what you do, where you anticipate to see something ancient or similar to the statues that Izzy found, but instead you see this almost half mask, as if it was just the lower half of a face, sitting propped up on this pedestal. Or it seems, like I said, it seems as though it was holding something else entirely. So eventually the pedestal rises and then stops. The half mask is sitting propped up onto where that pedestal would have been, or wherever was sitting on, whatever was sitting on the pedestal before. You can see it there.
Do you think it's magical, Izzy? It's got to be something if it was hidden like it was.
I definitely agree. I can try to take it out, but check it out. But to actually for sure know if it's magical, it would take me probably longer than we would want to tarry here. Let me see if there's any clues on the pedestal. And then can I do like an Arcana check to see if it has any like blatant that is a magical item of some sort
Yeah.
before touching it?
Smart idea. Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check. Okay. 12. The mask itself, so I'll go ahead and show you now. Hopefully it should pop up for everybody now. There we go.
Ooh.
The mask itself is definitely not magical. I mean, it is... you anticipate it to be like solid gold as you kind of go to study it, but just even tapping it with maybe your wand or your finger, it's wooden. It's just painted to look gold. There are small flecks of what would be a metallic material, but it's a wooden mask. And as you're looking at it, you can see that the pedestal has... they are very, very foreign to you, but they have arcane runes on them. You can tell that they're arcane, but they are much more crude and choppy, even more so than the Dowie was to you. This is something entirely different by a completely different group of people.
Okay.
You think it's worth anything?
The mask doesn't seem to be magical, but the pedestal is. The mask seems to be wood, maybe painted to look like gold.
Do you want me to twat it down?
No. Not yet. I'm gonna. These runes could be dangerous, and I'm going to do my next dumb thing. I will cast Identify on the runes on the pedestal.
Okay.
And I'll do it as I'll use a spell slot, so it's an action. And the reason why I call this dumb is because to identify anything, you have to touch it.
Okay.
Hopefully I don't die.
Okay. That's very interesting. So...
Oh, sorry. It takes a minute, not an action. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So you do touch it, and your initial touch, nothing bad happens. At the end of the minute, as you learn the magic, you can tell that it was created with magic in mind, but that magic is no longer active here. And as soon as you recognize it, you withdraw your hand back very quickly, because it seems as though this pedestal, all of these different runes, and you can see that there are about 5 of them on here, each one is almost like a detonation effect for a delayed fire blast.
Fuck.
So I don't know if
But
Izzy
the
would
magic
exactly
is
know
in-
that spell, but it's a very, very powerful flame spell that she would be able to tell. Even more powerful than Fireball, which she would definitely know.
Yeah, but the magic is gone.
The magic is gone.
Okay.
But you do get that it was made with that in mind.
Do
Okay.
you tell this to us?
Yes.
Great. As soon as
I
you say
would.
that, Nalfian's gonna be like, well, if it's gone, it's ours now. And I will take the mask.
Pick up the mask.
I
Nothing happens.
I don't really think it's a good idea to be taking that with us.
Weren't we supposed to find artifacts and get paid for it? Wasn't that the deal?
Oh, well, I guess, but this is obviously something sacred. Tampering with it might not be a good idea.
Alright. I'll put it back. Nalfian will just like gently place it back down and back away from it. So we're just gonna leave it here?
Oh, well, I think it's the best idea.
Alright, Twig. Win? You know more about this stuff than I do, so I trust you.
And, well, there's another building. There might be things in there.
Well, I found this stuff in there. There was these 2 statues, and that I assume might have been associated with that building, but I found it in the captain's tent, as well as this drawing. Oh, well, a mosaic of sorts, and I will hand her my drawing of the mosaic lion thing. And describe to her about how I saw like the rainbow colors, and it was like 3 times as tall as a full-grown man.
Does that ring any bells, Joe?
Let's see here. Let's see.
Would that ring any bells for Izzy either? I mean, she reads a lot, but that's a lion thing.
Yeah. I would say Izzy and Twig could attempt to make a history check.
Yeah, that's fair. Nalf knows not shit.
I don't know how much Twig would know, but like, you know, her roll's a roll.
Yeah. Just as a general history thing, if you might have read about it in any type of book, considering you are, at least you've been in Sandpoint for the past little bit. Our Sandpoint Islands. 13? Okay. So, Twig, it is a little lost on you. I will say the one thing you do notice with that history check is this mask and the style of building and like architecture, they don't match up. This mask is much newer and from a completely different culture and style of creation. Definitely does not match the more like antiquated like island dweller architecture that is here. Izzy, though, it does strike a chord with you. You do think that you have some knowledge of this thing where you've heard of them before, where they are super predators, these types of lions, known for being 2 to even sometimes 3 times as large as a normal lion, the long, luscious, like silver or even metallic or chromatic hair. Um, the reason you specifically know it is because many super powerful or very intense enchantments on weapons or armor to protect them from elements. It's rumored that the taking the mane or killing this creature and then removing its mane can not just provide resistance to an element, but complete immunity to that element. Um, they are fleece mane lions.
Okay. So after like showing Twig the picture, it would probably click for her more what it is. Goes, oh well. Now that I think about it, this seems to be maybe a fleece mane lion. Really big, really dangerous. Very useful though. Their mane can be used for creating magical items. Grants one's resistance to some of the elements.
And this is what they were hunting here. You're telling me these
They
creatures are
did
here?
mention that there were lions that they were looking for, and I think they were expecting them to be on the island.
Well, fuck. Glad we didn't run into any of those. Yet.
I think it'd be a good idea to go back to the ship.
I agree. Twig, let's go. Alfin's gonna, like, turn on his heel and walk out of the store.
You see Grok and Eurydice throwing stones at several bumps, and then him turn and just slap her on the shoulder.
As we leave the temple, I will, before we get to Goblin down there on the cliff, I will hand Twig the 2 bolts of slaying.
As we go
And tell-
outside.
And
Go
tell
ahead,
her what they're for.
as we go outside, Nelfian's is gonna say, friends, there's fucking lions from hell on this island. Let's go.
Excuse me?
Twig,
Lions from hell?
care
Well-
to explain?
I mean, Harvester said they were looking for lions.
Oh, no. These aren't just any lions. They're fucking insane lions.
Grok,
I mean,
they're
should-
3 times your size.
Well,
Lions.
I think, well, fuck
Um,
telling me here then. Let's fucking leave. Fuck this.
Yep. We're gone. Let's leave.
Figured that might get Grok off the island.
Say again, Joe?
I was just curious. Twig, noticing that the mask didn't belong to this place in particular, are you going to take it, or are you still going to leave it there?
No, man, she's not gonna mess with sacred vibes.
Okay, all right.
It's asking for trouble.
And Izzy would trust her judgment because she's more intellectual, not religious.
Okay.
I'm gonna check the tree line one last time and then walk. I don't trust these people.
All right, make a perception check.
I'm so sus. I'm like, oh, they're definitely there watching us.
Although
Why?
fleece mane lion would be glorious.
Because Nelfin walked by. Couldn't help.
Stop.
Gotta get it
The
in.
cheekbones.
Cheekbones.
So yeah, now
Is there going to be
just
enough? Sorry.
It is Jamie, though.
and it might not be that you get distracted by him, but you anticipate him to say something, so you look at him. It's so infuriating because he doesn't say anything. He just walks by, and you're just, why didn't he say anything? He always says something. Why didn't he? And then you realize that you lost your train of thought.
Okay. Turns around.
Okay, so you head back to the boat, and I'll go ahead and so Twig.
Is there going to be room on this little rowboat for all of us?
With question mark guy, you'll have to make 2 trips.
Is it too far that Grok could just swim?
Actually, no. I mean, the armor is the issue, really.
Question: Is
I mean,
it too
you can,
far
you
for
can take
Izzy
it off
to
and leave it in
walk?
the boat.
Is it too far for Izzy to walk?
Yes.
I made a suggestion, but
I mean, walk/swim.
Okay. Is Izzy Jesus?
I feel like we've figured out what
No,
you're
I'd be walking on the bottom, Joe, not
gotcha.
the top.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you could swim all the way there. The issue is buoyancy, because actually, no.
Am I buoyant?
No.
The fuck is?
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, Izzy, you could walk on the bottom all the way there. That actually is a thing that you could do. Funny. Okay. Yeah, so Izzy can walk on the bottom, and it'll be a little tight, you know. Nalfian may have to sit on Grok's lap, or something like that.
Not exactly that.
Okay.
When you guys get to the ship, just throw a rope down and bring me up, and I will use something. Damn it, I don't. Joe, I'll whisper you real quick,
Sounds good.
which I know makes me more sus, but
It's
whatever.
okay. You caught it. Izzy is a merfolk. She's a fish. She's literally just a fish with a ring of intelligence on.
Yeah.
damn. That's why she's so cold all the time. We figured it out. Vampire fish.
Case closed.
Oh, vampire fish.
Vampire
Checkmate,
fish.
atheist.
Ring of intelligence. Love it.
Checkmate, atheist. Oh god. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, I have a whisper. Okay.
I have magic that'll allow me to breathe underwater. So,
But would you be able to swim across?
yeah. Izzy will do a spell and then walk off into the water towards the boat.
So, as you're walking by, you see this wonderful interaction between Grok and Nalfian. Oh
Yes.
god.
Yeah.
It's like the worst trip with Santa ever. Oh god.
No, you would see who. This is what we need.
God, amazing. Okay. So, with that, Grok and Nalfian, Twig, Eurydice, Leah, and Question Mark, the group of you make your way onto the rowboat. Izzy descends down into the water, and you begin to make your way back to the ship. So, Twig, you have 2 arrows of slang. There's the text for you, just in case you needed it.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah. Against a monstrosity, if they fail a DC 17 con save, they take an extra 60-10 piercing damage on a field save.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I
wait.
gave the little cannon girl more cannon against monstrosities.
All right, that's a bolt. My bad. So bolt of slaying. There you go. And no golden mask. Alrighty. So you make your way back to the ship, and you. To be specific, which.
Joe, don't pay attention to us. Keep going.
Have a look at the chat.
It's
Still do it.
cursed. Ignore it. It's cursed.
Laughing in the other room.
Okay. Alrighty. So
I feel like Nalf and Grok are going to find out that they secretly love each other. It's going to
Yeah.
come as a realization, and they're going to be like,
Called
"Oh my
canon.
goodness!"
that's the real romance we need. Okay.
Yeah, Yuri gets clocked by Grok.
Cock by Grok.
Yeah, I'm not even mad.
Why do so many things rhyme with rock? It's so great. Alrighty. So with that, going with the rowboat. Eventually, you get back on board the ship, bringing it up over to the side. The rowboat is hoisted up. All of you climb over. You inform. So as you are hoisted back up, you can hear Captain Heather Scott as he makes his way over to you. And he says, "So, what'd you find? Anything interesting?"
Oh, well, we found him. And Nalfien's gonna, like, put his hand on question mark, question mark, question mark.
All right. Hello, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. And kind of like looking at Leah, and Leah just kind of shrugs. And, all right.
He was
What?
passed out on the other side of the island, and we believe that these 4 horsemen were keeping him captive. He can't remember much. Isn't that right, friend? Nalfien will give him, like, a little pat on the chest.
Oh, so you encountered the 4 horsemen, you said?
Unfortunately, I think. And Nalfien will look at Grok.
Aye. What? No, not one of the main ships. They were looking for lions and well, I presume him. But
Yes.
the captain got away.
All right. Well, do me a favor. And I don't know if you got a name, but please tell me it was Captain... Just not Captain Bloodletter.
No, Captain Harvester.
Fuck, that's even worse. Is he still there? Or-
Yeah, I mean, I suggested we take the ship around the island, fucking blast them. See any movement in the fucking tree line, just open fire on them. Just send the fucking island to the wind of a fucking plane.
So they was looking for lions, though?
Well,
Fucking
some fucking
insane
line.
lions.
Fucking Nalfian and Twig and Izzy were talking about them. I don't know. I need some fucking rum.
Go get some rum. No problem. Just make sure you talk to Lamley first. He's,
Yeah.
yeah. Honestly. So, I'm sorry, I need some more details, just momentarily. How many of the crew were there that you know of?
Well, I think we killed about, 7 of them? But, we overheard a conversation with him saying there was about 15 of them on the island. We're not sure where the rest are, and unfortunately, he did get away. I mean, to be honest, I don't think we were expecting to find our friend here, and I don't think they were expecting us to pull up when we did.
No. All right. So that means that you took care of quite a few, so that means they're going to have a much harder time getting off the island, if at all. And in all honesty, because of the nature of these islands...
Well, that's something that Grok mentioned. I mean, if these islands are constantly changing and we've taken out half their crew, they don't have enough men to man the boat. And if the island's just gonna sink again in the next day or so, I'd say we fucking leave them.
Honestly, that was my thought exactly. Believe me, that man deserves a fate much more cruel than sword through the chest or even burnt alive by flame. Slow, painful drowning or whatever terrible things happen to you when you're on one of those islands when they move. That's, I think that's about what he deserves, in all honesty.
I do wonder if maybe Lotus can help this fine gentleman regain some type of memory. He doesn't even remember his name.
Well, Lotus should be able to help with that. At least I hope so. I was just.
How's that guy looking, by the way? We're just kind of like tossing him around like he's a piece of meat. Like we're just like, yeah, this guy, fucking, let's do something with, like, how's he looking or feeling?
He seems fine now. He seems like he's in it a
Overwhelmed,
bit more.
maybe?
A little overwhelmed, yeah. There's a lot of people on the ship. People are moving all around him. He's a little uncomfortable with that, but he seems to be fully conscious now and aware of his surroundings. Just almost like when you bring like a like when you bring an animal home and there's so many things happening at once where that animal's a little overwhelmed. That's kind of the energy that he's giving off right now, where he's like looking all around at the people who are like shouting back and forth and the different clanking. Sometimes Alo like drops a cannonball on the ground, and Gunnar Mackey's like, "I did fucking what the fuck? Pick the cannonball up, stop dropping it, lad." And Alo's like, "Oh, sorry." And he picks the cannonball up, and there's just a lot of noise happening on board,
Right.
and so he's a little overwhelmed, but
Gotcha.
he's hanging in there. And scratching at the scales every once in a while, and then realizes he's doing it and like pulls his hand down, stops. And Captain Heather Scott says, "Well, yes, it seems as though it's best to have Lotus make sure he's doing all right. He seems a little lost. Is there anything else?"
Well, we also found some ruins, I suppose. Twig and Izzy here have a little bit more knowledge than I do on what was found.
Yeah,
He'll
right
kinda-
about at that point, Izzy is climbing up aboard the ship from the ladder that's on the side of the ship.
Yeah, Nelfade will kind of like look over to both Twig and Izzy.
Izzy drenched in water. Oh. Well, you didn't have to swim. I'm sure we could have made 2 trips. It wouldn't have taken much.
It was okay. The water's nice. No big deal. And I will prestidigitate myself like dry. So it's like, it's not a thing.
Okay. Water just vanishes. It's almost as if you just walk through a steamer. There's just a little bit of mist and steam around you as the water fades away.
So,
Oh.
well, as she was saying, it seems that they were hunting fleece mane lions. Found this drawing on one of the ruined walls. Also found some stuff in the captain's quarters.
Said fleece mane lions?
Yes.
There's also a mask that looks like it was made of wood. I was gonna take it, but Twig very kindly reminded me that we shouldn't be taking sacred items, so I did not take said sacred item.
I will create an illusory image inside my hand of what the gold mask looks like.
He kind of looks at the mask and he squints and he says, "You have got to be fucking kidding me."
Why?
Well, all of you have just stumbled upon a ruin that has already been pilfered through. That's
It's some kind of calling card.
exactly. Treasure hunter by the name of Jorah Pine, with a Y, of course.
Sounds like an asshole.
Oh, he is. Believe me. When all of you first met me, when we were in that keep, he acts like that all of the time. Absolutely no calm at all. He is very cocky, very full of himself, because, as much as I hate to admit it, he's good at what he does. And looks as though whatever was on there, and whatever magics was protecting it, I'm assuming you didn't find a body there as well.
Didn't seem like there was much else to be found.
Well, of course. He really does think that he is the best, and as much as I hate to admit it, damn it, he might be. Well, guess there's nothing of value there anyway. If there was, he would have taken it regardless.
Well, it was worth a look, I guess. We found a new friend, saved his life. It's worth something, I suppose.
Of course, a
and-
life saved is valuable, that's for sure. I just hope that we can find out more about why the 4 horsemen had him. Because you said you found him on the island with them, right?
You know, he looked like he washed up on shore after their boat crashed, perhaps. I'm not sure.
All right.
And as per our contract, this is what I found, and I will pull out the 2 ancient statues and the coins and the other goods. If there was any that I would have grabbed out of there, that would have been worth something.
Very well. Here's what we're gonna do. Same deal as before, 50-50. However, any of the miscellaneous coin you can go ahead and keep. I have no problem letting you keep that. I'll take one of the 2 statues, and do you point out the arrows of slaying?
Twig would just keep him on her.
I would not.
You
If
said
he
you found
doesn't question it, then I won't say anything.
Okay. Said you found a journal?
Yes, it's quite waterlogged. I might be able to repair it some, and maybe some of the passages may be legible with some study. And I will forward the journal.
Okay. He kind of flips through it and he says, "Very well. If you find anything, I trust you to tell me if you think it's important enough." He hands it back. The
Of
only
course.
other thing that I ask, did any of you take the mask with you? I'm assuming since you did the illusion, you left it there.
That is correct. We left it on the pedestal. Twig felt it would be best not to mess with anything sacred, so followed her lead on that. Should I go get it?
No, I can send Leah to go get it. But Twig, that was a very good call. Typically, most of the time, you never want to mess with anything in an ancient tomb because I'm sure there was some type of very deadly trap that was attached to it that luckily had been disabled.
Oh yes, a very nasty spell that would blow a lot of fire and probably incinerate whoever triggers it.
Oh. Well, that means that he made it, though.
It is deactivated though. There is no more magic in the runes, so it should be safe to remove the mask.
Very well. Leah, if it's all right with you, you can take.
Well, even if there's no traps on it currently, I still don't know if it's still safe to be taking something.
Jorah tends to leave those there, as if anybody is hunting after him and ends up finding the treasure, or finding that mask. If they take it to Dragon's Bay, they can typically sell it to some peddler on the street for some funds, or even a night's rest at one of the nicer taverns. So, if I send Leah here to go get it, might be a small bit of benefit that can be had from it. Or, Twig, if you really believe that you want to leave it there, I suppose it bothers me none.
Well, I think if the lady says leave it, we leave it.
Very well. As I said, it'll just be some other poor sod who ends up finding that mask anyway. Alright. Well, if that's the case, I believe we should continue forward, should we not?
How many more days until Raven Rock?
Well, let's see. This is afternoon of the second day, so we should only have about 3.5 days left until we get to Raven Rock. 5 days total.
Right. Well, onward, I suppose.
Ever onward. All right. Raise anchor. Drop the sails. Head to Raven Rock. And shouting out a few more commands, the anchors are raised, sails are dropped, and you begin to sail off and away from the island.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Can I quickly do something with our mystery dude?
Yeah, sure. As you go to take him down.
Yeah. So just take him down to where Lotus is. But on the way, I am going to, just as we're walking, say in Elvish. Because sometimes when people lose their memory, they will retain, like, the languages unconsciously, and then it might help bring things back. So I just say in Elvish, "So how are you feeling?"
He responds in Elvish. I still feel as though I've lost most things, and he stops and stares at you.
She smiles really wide.
Ah, well, that is very interesting.
Yes, see, you remembered something. You remembered Elvish. That's something, at least.
That is something, yes. Do you know any more languages?
She is going to say in Dwarvish. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I can.
See, this is great. You're getting more and more. We can see maybe Lotus knows some other languages that I don't.
I suppose so. Please, let's go. I'm excited to finally be remembering something.
I'm excited for you, absolutely. And she's gonna lead him at a much quicker pace to go to Lotus.
So, making your way down below deck, eventually you find in her cabin where she stays by herself. There's different like alchemical ingredients and plants, mushrooms and fungi that are sort of hanging down from the ceiling. That she's currently picking stuff off and putting it into a mortar and pestle to create something. And as you open the door, she says, "Oh well, hello. Hello. Eurydice, I see you have brought someone to me. Is this someone who needs aid? Are they not feeling very well?"
Yes, well, we actually found him on the island that we were just on. And, well, he can't remember anything, unfortunately. He can speak, and he seems to be able to speak multiple languages, but as far as even his own name, we don't know. He also seems to be in some way cursed, and we were just thinking if anybody could help him, it would probably be you.
I will see what I can do. I am not as well versed in, well, curses and the such, but I will see what I can do to help. You said that he has an easier time remembering languages?
Yes, I already spoke Elvish and Dwarven to him, and he seemed to understand what I was saying and speak back.
She'll sort of look to him and she'll start to speak a language that you don't recognize. It almost sounds like gibberish. It's very quick, very running together, lots of very little. It almost sounds like there's no punctuation at all. It's just noises and then stops, and then noises and then stops, and it really is super quick, super jittery, lots of consonants. And he speaks it back, and eventually starts speaking common, and he says, "I am." I remember. It is Gnomish. I only know one more language, but it may provide something. And she begins to speak, and Eurydice, I mean, you never really thought about it before, but Lotus, as she begins to speak, she almost begins to... It almost doesn't sound like her voice, where she's almost harmonizing with herself in this very musical, organic language, speaking to him. And then he looks and cocks his head, and he starts to do the same language back. And her eyes shoot up wide, and she says, "Well, it is very interesting. I have never met anyone who speaks that language." "Well, if it makes you feel any better, I suppose I have never met anyone who speaks that language as well."
What language was that, if I might ask?
And they both look at you and at the same time say Celestial. And then share a look with one another again.
Well, I think this is going splendidly. And it gives us hope that maybe you'll be able to regain some memories and feel a bit better of Lotus.
Yes, thank you. Eurydice, correct?
Yes, Eurydice. You are very welcome.
If you don't mind, I remember most of Elvish and of Dwarvish, but if you have any free time, I would love to practice speaking the language. It feels a little rusty to me.
Well, I haven't been able to use it very often lately, so I would very much appreciate the practice as well. Just come and find me around the ship, or I'll come find you. There aren't exactly many places to hide around here.
Yes, it is a little smaller than the other one I was on. At least it... Well, it is smaller, but it seems... And you see him kind of get lost in thought. Sorry, Oh.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Sorry, I just can't tell if that was a... That just seemed a bit odd. A little bit sus, boy.
It really does seem like he hit a wall. Like he was so close to remembering something, but then he just smacked into it. And just, it seemed as though he derailed the entire thing. And now he's kind of picking up the pieces.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, she's gonna say, well, I'm gonna go see what my friends have decided on, but I really hope you're able to unlock some things, and I'll come check on you later.
Thank you. Very much. He smiles, and Lotus looks down at him, and you can see she begins to light a small fire in the cabin and begins to boil some water, and then moving some alchemical ingredients into there, seeming to brew something to maybe help with the memory, or at least cooling his mind in general. But before you can see what happens, shut the door, and you head back up. Okay. So
Sweet.
about that point is when you get above deck. Captain Heather Scott says, raise the sails, or lower the sails, raise the anchor, headed to Raven Rock. So with that, anchor's raised, sails are dropped, wind catches in the sails, and, yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. No, that's still fine, though, because you didn't really say anything as Izzy was explaining the mask and everything. So that's fine. So, see that. Make your way back up, hear the conversation, and with that, all of you are back on the sea, moving around, and there's another day and a half. So the rest of this day and the next day that passes with little to no excitement. Sally doesn't make any outcries about any islands cropping up. There's no bell rungs. You hear no cannon fire. None of you see any sails on the horizon. So in that day and a half, is anybody doing anything in particular? Any conversations in particular?
I mean, Twig wants to find Eurydice at one point.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and
Hopefully it's the room at the same time.
No, we'll go ahead and do Nalthian first, just because it makes the most sense because of where Nalthian was in that previous moment. So Eurydice, you make your way back up, and Nalthian does kind of end up following you back up. You didn't exactly notice him sort of eavesdropping on the conversation before, but to make your way back above deck. So Nalthian, if you wanted to break up conversation, you can go ahead and do that now.
Yeah, he would have like eventually made his way down. So he would have like been listening to the conversation from the doorway with question mark, question mark, question mark. He didn't say a name, right? Never in that conversation did he say his name.
No, he doesn't remember.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You guys have asked him a few times, yeah.
I'm gonna refer to him as a single question mark.
That's fine.
Right. So as soon as Eurydice is like kind of finishing up and like walks out of the doorway, like I said, Nelphine was just kind of standing there. And he'll just say, well, you've done good, haven't you?
Are you listening?
Eurydice, I'm always listening. But you did a good job. You did something very kind. How do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, I was really hoping it would work for his sake. I'd heard about memory loss, and sometimes languages are retained, and it can help break through those barriers, so I'm glad we found something, and it might help him.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
Why do you feel so compelled to help him? And
Well,
Alfian is like kind of like leading the way, so they're not like having this conversation outside the door.
okay.
Let's
She
not talk-
looks a little bit confused. And says, because he needs help? He is confused and probably scared and in a bad way. And he deserves help.
And how does it make you feel to help him?
I mean, it isn't exactly how it makes me feel, but it makes me feel good to help people.
You're a very good person, Eurydice. You know?
I just thought I was a decent person. I thought that most people felt like they should just help others.
Eurydice, would you care to join me on the deck this evening and have dinner with me?
She looks kind of surprised. And then says, why, of course I would. Sounds lovely.
Great, you honor me, Eurydice. You really do. Follow me this way, my dear, and I will treat you to a very lovely evening. As lovely as we can on a moving ship and food that tastes
Mhm.
like shit. And Nalfian will very politely lead the way on deck, where he has already pre-set up a very nice little picnic on the deck of the boat.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see set up there. Nice little. It's not. Nalfian, there are some little things that have changed since you last set it up, just because of the moving of the ship. But it's easy enough for you to fix those a little bit. And it looks pretty nice. You know, a nice gingham blanket, a wicker basket, and whatever is in the wicker basket. Well, that's just gonna have to be a journey that Nalfian takes you on.
Oh boy. How did you do this?
Oh, it's called magic. I work that. Have a seat.
Okay. It's a very different kind of magic to the one that I do. For the looks of it. Okay. She sits down and she's very polite usually and very kind and good with people. She seems very, very surprised and taken off guard by this. And she's still like being nice for it. She's still like she seems very happy but also very, very taken off guard and very surprised.
Nalfian will just like casually sit. I mean, this is a really hodgepodgey like thing because we're on a fucking ship. So, and like these really rough like tankards, he will nicely the finest grok that has on the ship. I'm sure it's aged well. He will nicely pour her a glass, and he'll just say, "Oh, you're gonna say you seem flustered. What seems to be the problem? An uncasual dinner between friends?"
Sorry, I looked at the fucking chat. Uh, I'm just not used to this. If I'm completely honest, I've never had this.
Eurydice, you're a very lovely woman. You're telling me you've never had somebody ask you to have dinner with them before.
Mm,
I think that you are very wonderful, and I just thought it would be nice to treat you to a very wonderful thing. You did a nice thing today for someone, and it's not often you see others helping others just out of the goodness of their heart. Eurydice,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say right at about that moment, you're ready to see, maybe out of the corner of your eye, you would have just seen Willow just kind of like making his way slowly over towards the two of you. And then maybe about 5 feet away from you, he just kind of leans up against the railing of the ship. And he has a lute, and he just starts kind of playing this
God.
very
Oh my god.
soft, light tune, just plucking away at his lute. And he just kind of looks over at Nalfian, just kind of gives Nalfian a wink, and just continues to play.
I just think it's very important to help people. Like, even if you don't know them, because whether you know them or not, that doesn't make them more or less worthy of help. That man that we saw washed up, he could be the kindest man in the world. He might not deserve what happened to him. And we should help. And so many things in the world, so many horrible things would be avoided if people just helped and were kind.
You can see that he's listening very intently. And he just kind of... I mean, he's also smirking while he's listening, but he's listening very intently. You're to see this world would be a much better place if there are more people who thought like you do. But I don't mean to overwhelm you. I just wanted to do a nice thing for a friend. So please enjoy. I don't mean to, again, overwhelm you or put you on the spot. I just wanted to give you a nice evening. Because I thought you deserved it.
I am very appreciative. And it is lovely. And whilst I'm not used to it, I'm very, very appreciative that you do this for me. How don't you think the same as I do?
Why don't I think what exactly?
That everybody should just be kind and regardless and helpful and help people.
You're to see, I'm a very... where I'm from, that doesn't exist. It never will, it never has. People don't just save each other. Hell, I don't think anybody's even smiled down there. And I am still learning how that works. But I've figured out that if people fear me, they respect me. And it's gotten me this far. And I think it'll take me much further. And kindness doesn't always work that way.
Well, even if I feared you, I wouldn't sit and have dinner with you. I don't think if Grok feared you, he would drink with you. Or that Twig would stay and talk to you, or that Izzy would make you that dagger. Fear can get you so far. Kindness and friendship and love can get you much, much further.
We'll see. And at that, Nalfian will eat his dinner.
So will Eurydice. And she looks like she's not used to it, but she is having a good time. She's very much enjoying herself, and she's very appreciative. She'll just make light conversation with him. Less heavy subjects.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Same.
Alrighty. Sounds good. So the two of you enjoy your dinner. Compliments of whatever Nalfian could cluster together, but also got a little teamwork with Nalfian. When you told Auntie Scar what you wanted to do, she was in love with the idea, and she was willing to give you some of the best stuff she had in the kitchen to make sure that you were actually eating something that was all right. So you have some nice, it's still jerky, but it's not bad jerky, along with some nicer, as opposed to like grog, it's actual just like the lemonade and rum sort of combined in a way that's not disgusting.
That sounds like bullshit holy water you drink in college parties.
It's the best you got on a ship.
That's good. It's good.
So you continue with your dinner, and Willow stays there for the majority of the time until the conversation begins to wind down. He slings the loot back on his back, and he just kind of walks away whistling, and just as if he was never there. And the two of you don't even notice and move away until he's already gone. So, eventually, your dinner concludes as the sun is setting, and the two of you depart and head to bed.
Yeah. Nelf will be kind and like walk her to her room. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so you're ready to see. You walk to your room, and then two of you head your separate ways. So, as...
In his room,
Okay.
I would just like for him to just kind of like take a moment to sit on, the edge of his bed and just kind of like pull out his necklace and just kind of hold it there for a little bit and just kind of reflect for a few, and then he'll go to bed.
So, you ready to see? You head in with Twig and Izzy, and then Nalfi and you reunite with Grok in your room. Grok, I'd like to... what's your passive perception?
12.
Well, okay. It's not like he was hiding it. You do notice that. You do notice him kind of take out like some small piece of metal, a locket, sort of rub it and focus on it for a moment, and then tuck it back into his shirt and armor. So it's up to Grok if he wants to say anything or if he just wants to let it lie.
Nah, Grok's not a soul person.
Okay.
What's that?
Something from very long ago.
What, from when, like last week? From Sam Point?
Try, what, 10, 12 years? Don't worry, friend. Keeps me grounded, reminds me who I am.
Oh, I know the feeling. And Grok will like slap the chest a couple of times.
Yeah, Nalfian, remembering the other night, will just kind of like cautiously smile and nod his head.
Alrighty. So, with that wholesome moment between budding best friends, the two of you head to sleep. Everybody else concludes your third day on the sea. Your second day on the sea, ready to resume your third day when we come back from our break. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5-10 minute break, but then right after that, we will be back. So if you've been enjoying so far, leave a follow. If you really enjoy, share it with your friends because we'd love to have more people in here. Also, I love that there's conversations happening in the chat. It honestly makes me so happy. So thank you so much for watching so far, and we will be back shortly. All right. unmute. Hello there. Back. We are
No.
back. What? Huh? Oh,
no,
no?
go.
Okay. All right. We are. So there is no need to delay. No reason to dally. We've done our check already. If you got snacks during the break, we'd love to have you drop them in the chat because I like to know what other people are snacking on when they're playing or watching. Because I don't know, it's fun. Whatever. So I think. Oh, I should have got a pickle. Those are good. You do enjoy me a good pickle. I left the silence there because I knew what I said. So let's see. Let's not delay. Let's go ahead and get started. Just because I love it so much, I'm gonna roll that intro and then we'll jump in.
We're gonna come up with something eventually. We're terrible.
Back in the game. So the only thing that I want to do is that art. Just because I said it again, that art that you saw in there was done by Gemma, who's right below me, right there, yeah, right there. And then the music was actually an original composition by a friend of the show, Luca David. And him and his sister actually have they're in a music group together called Luca and Julia. So I just dropped that link in the chat. I recommend you go check them out. I really like the sound. It's different than the intro music, but it still is really good, and I thoroughly recommend you check it out. So there's that for you. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. So picking up right where we left off, I should say, the party had investigated those ruins on the island and eventually talked Izzy down from chasing after Captain Harvester, leaving him on that island in the hopes that he would suffer a fate worse than death. Make your way back to the ship. You have a few conversations with Captain Heatherstocke, dividing up the loot, and Eurydice, you make a breakthrough with Question Mark Man, with the strange individual who seems to have no memory. Speaking a language to him, he's able to speak it back with no problem. You do that with the two languages you know aside from Common. And then Lotus does it with two languages that they know that are not Common. And he knows all four of them, seeming to be a rather gifted linguist in terms of his ability to speak many different languages. And he says that maybe sometime today or tomorrow, or any time before they get to the city, he'd try and find you to talk more in Elvish and Dwarvish. So the two of you go your separate ways as he decides to stay down below deck with Lotus to try and help him with his memory, but Eurydice ends up going towards above deck and is intercepted by Nalfian, who apparently, in the time that they've been on the ship, was able to procure items to have a nice little picnic, dinner, friend date on the bow of the ship, or near the ship. That'd be crazy dangerous. Near the bow of the ship, and you're able to just have a small dinner, and you chit-chat and have a very pleasant conversation. And there's even a little bit of music accompaniment by a dastardly half-orc bard. So, you all, eventually, you and Eurydice, Nalfian, you and Eurydice, you go your separate ways, you head to your cabins, and you head to sleep for the night. So, eventually you wake up the next morning, and as I know, Twig, you said you wanted to go talk to Eurydice?
Yeah. Hope so. We're in the same room, I guess.
Yeah, so as you guys are waking up, Izzy is also in there as well, as the three of you are just sort of getting up and getting ready to pursue your day. And
Yeah,
it's up to you what you want to do.
Eurydice, could I ask you something?
Of course you can.
Well, because, well, you and Nalfian are close, right?
We're friends. I think. In a way, I would say we're close.
Didn't I see you on the bow last night with him? Well, you are close to him, right? You're just being modest.
For the sake of this, yes, we are close.
Right. Do you think he acts a little strange?
In what way strange? Like magically strange, or like strange
I
in...
wasn't thinking magically strange. Is that have you thought that he's
No,
magically strange?
no.
I don't know how to put it exactly, but he just, I don't know. I've never seen anyone act the way he does. I guess I can't really exactly put it on anything, well, directly. But I mean, the other day when he wanted to talk to me, he seemed nervous. He was looking behind him for some reason, and I don't know if that meant anything.
Well, what did he say? What did you two talk about?
Well, he was just talking about how I shouldn't trust people, and, well, I guess it's odd in that sense as well that he wanted me to trust him in saying that, but if he wouldn't want me to trust people, then why would he think that I would trust his opinion on that?
You know, from the sounds of it, I would say that he was maybe a little bit nervous because he wasn't sure how they were going to receive what he was saying, and maybe he didn't want people to hear him. That's what it sounds like he was
Why wouldn't
doing.
he want people to hear him?
Because he was warning you, Twig. There are people in the world who maybe aren't so nice, and granted, we haven't known each other very long, but we've known the people on this ship for even less time. So maybe he is just being careful and wary. Nalfian strikes me as somebody who maybe hasn't had the best experiences in his life of trusting people. And he just seems to be always very careful. And maybe he was just saying these things to you because he wants to look out for you and he wants you to be okay.
But did he say anything about that kind of stuff to you?
Well, maybe in a way. He seems almost surprised by the fact that I seem to have a default of being kind and trusting to people. Well, maybe not totally trusting, but at the very least kind and caring. I think maybe coming across as weird. Maybe it's just him showing a different side. He seems to always try to have this image of being confident and cocky and strong and smooth, but I think deep down he probably cares a lot, and maybe that's a side he finds more difficult to show to you.
But do you trust him then? You think he's, well, a good person, I guess?
I think, despite some of the things you might have seen as sometimes how he tries to act, I do trust Nalfian. I do think he's a good person. And maybe, I think if he's trying to help you, maybe you should give him a chance.
Well, it's not like I am not giving him a chance. I just don't see why he thinks that I need help.
Well, you are very young, and we are going to places full of very, sounds of it, unkind people, and Well, for starters, lots of
It's
them.
not like I'm a kid or anything. I know things about, well, the world. It's not like I'm
Yeah?
completely ignorant or anything. I mean, I've been taught a lot of stuff, and what I haven't been taught, I feel like I've read about at least somewhere.
Well, how about the workings of a city? Not on a political level or a financial or trading. Just how the people work. What to do, what not to do. Who to talk to, who not to talk to. Where to go and where not to go. Those are
Well,
things that Nelfi can help you with.
But I've been taught about a lot of those kind of things. And, well, if Nalfion's coming from somewhere like the Underdark, then from what I've heard, it's not exactly like they're a very, well, nicely structured place. So, if anything, wouldn't he be the one that doesn't know?
Potentially. But we don't know how long Nelfian has been up here on the surface. In these cities. It seems he spends most of his time there. And maybe another way to look at it is that he is careful and maybe has a little bit of an idea of what to say, and at the very least can just help you in these places that maybe you're not as accustomed to. I don't know if you've ever lived in a city like Ravenrock, or even been to a city like Ravenrock before. Have you?
Well, I've been in a city. I haven't always been, well, in Sandpoint.
Okay, well, it is completely up to you how you receive Nalfian's help, and whether you take it at all, and how you feel about him. But I trust him. I think he's a good person, and that he really cares about you. And that if you accept his help, it could be very beneficial, and I think he would go to the ends of the earth and do anything he could to protect you, just from what I've seen in battle.
Well, we still barely know each other, though. He doesn't exactly strike me as that kind of person.
I think he strikes me as that kind of person, and yes, we've not known each other long. But I feel the events we have undertaken and our experiences mean that I am closer to most of you than I have been to, well, anyone. Aside from maybe my family.
Well, thank you, Eurydice. I do value your opinion. I mean, you seem to be, well, at least a decent person of judgment.
Well, I appreciate that you feel you can talk to me, and that you value anything that I say. I hope that you're able to figure out your opinions and whether you accept his help or not, and how you feel about him.
Right.
She just smiles and kind of finishes up whatever she's doing, and then she's gonna head up on deck because it's kind of nice, most open place to be, and she's gonna find Ayla eventually too.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. So you make your way, departing from Twig to Izzy. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, man. Departing from Twig and Izzy, and you make your way on deck. And you can see, making your way into rounds, the sun is just beginning to rise, and it's probably only 9-10 a.m. at this point. Or it's a little bit later in the morning, but it is it's a so far been a nice day on the sea. There's some smatterings of clouds, but the sun is peering down, and the wind is carrying the ship to a pretty good degree. You've had some pretty nice luck these past several days. Wind blowing all around you, you're able to get that very strong whiff of salt. And you do see Alo sitting on the near the bow of the ship, just kind of looking up at the crow's nest every once in a while, and then looking back at the water, looking down, seeing if he can see anything. But before we go there, is there anybody else who wanted to... Okay, so Grok, actually, as you're waking up, you are standing just like on the opposite end of the bow to where Alo is, where he's just like on the... You're on like the port side of the bow, and he's on the starboard side. So you guys are only, maybe 15, 20 feet away from each other. So Eurydice, you see him. But real quick, we'll do Izzy's thing. So with that, Izzy, you are able to take the hour, or the 10 minutes, sorry. Or is it an hour for Find
Yeah, I
Familiar?
believe it is an hour for Find Familiar, yeah.
So, you take your
Let me
hour,
drop
you
it.
cast Find Familiar. No, you're good. I'm just trying
Bring
to space
back
everything
Lizzie.
out. Don't feel bad. It's like a relay race, you gotta pass the baton.
Did you want me to post it in the chat?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure it's an hour.
It is an hour plus 10 minutes if doing it as ritual.
Okay, an hour and 10 minutes. All right. So you take that time. Twig, you're probably there for the beginnings of it, and then, you can stay for however long you want. But eventually, as the spell concludes, the incense charcoal thrown into the brazier, through a puff of it's like ethereal blue smoke emerging from it is Lizzie. Lizzie sort of flies up and begins to twirl around in circles around you and nestles up around your neck, and then climbs back into your hat and begins to slowly purr on the inside. Happy to be me.
Yay. I will bring her down and hug her and be very happy and tell her I'm sorry.
And she just kind of gurgles and herself. Happy to be there with you.
And then after that, feeding her and spending some time with Lizzie, I would try to repair the book as much as I can, if possible. Try to clean out some of the waterlogging, unless it would damage the writing. In which case, if it can't be cleaned, then I would just try my best to read what is there and take notes.
So you do test on some of the first few pages, just in little corners, little areas, using prestidigitation to see if it'll fix it. And the downside is it fixes the parchment, but it removes any and all text that may have been on it.
Okay, so yeah, it completely cleans it.
Yeah, because the ink is seen as a stain.
Okay, so then I would not do that on the illegible pages, and then just essentially go through that book and read it throughout the day, see if there's any useful information we can get for that.
So there are a couple things. Let's see, where's that? Aha, here we are. Okay.
Get to my notes on my page too.
So there are 3 things that you collect that seem to be important. They're really the only 3 things that you could piece together that even seem like they're relevant. Some of the stuff in here is just Captain Harvester talking about earlier in his journeys different things he may have dissected. And some of the passages that you can read are a little gruesome and in excruciatingly disturbing detail. But luckily, most of it's blurred out and washed away and waterlogged. But the 3 things that you do find is, for one, that ship that they were traveling on had a lot of valuable cargo. There was a lot of stuff on there that would have made some big bank. And there was one thing in particular that was very, very valuable You're not able to ascertain what it was, because that part is blurred out and waterlogged. But you do gather that this shipment was supposed to be headed to Afera. That this item in particular, whatever it was actually being sold to somebody by the name of Agatha Durandon. But whatever that shipment is now it was on that ship, and that ship was sunk by the Horned Corsairs. The only other thing that you get is that it is the flagship of the Four Horsemen, known as the Apocalypse. That ship is in a small port off of the Goldstone Peaks, which I'll go ahead and move you to the
Flagship.
Here we go. As soon as it loads, it's a little blurry right now. That's a blurry boy. So, it is somewhere around the Goldstone Peaks. There's apparently a small port somewhere around there where the Apocalypse is at.
Goldstone. Okay. So they were a part of the Apocalypse, which is the flagship of the Horsemen, which is in a small port somewhere in the Goldstone Peaks.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And that lady's name was Agatha Durandon, or Dawn Duran.
Durandon.
Okay.
Here, yeah, let me drop it in the chat for you. Copy. Paste. There you go.
And then you said there was a third thing, or was this the only thing?
That was the third thing. So the ship was full of
Oh,
valuable
okay.
cargo. It was headed to Afera for Agatha Durandon, and the third thing was the flagship is located in the Goldstone Peaks.
And also, while gruesome, I would take notes on the dissection. Just because magical creator person.
Yes. The worst part is, the ones that are legible, they're not dragons or monstrosities or any other type of magical creature. They're on magical humanoids. So things like tieflings and Aasimar, as well as Goliaths. Any creature that may have some magical influence on them, Genasi as well. The different, and there's only a few things, different bits and pieces that can be ripped out of them while they're still alive are more potently magical. So the heart of a fire Genasi that is used to brew in a potion creates an extremely powerful flame effect. That's really the only solid concrete thing you get from breeding those, aside from being pretty grossed out.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
These guys are jerks. Are we sure we can't wipe these guys out?
That's the goal.
Okay, I got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
We'll get back to the ship. Boom. It's actually a ship up.
Yeah, later on I'd share it with the group first and then ask if we should go ahead and let the captain know since he
Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and as you discover that, we're gonna hop back to Eurydice. As you make contact, you can see Alo, just sort of looking up at the crow's nest, and then sort of looking down at the water, and he looks like he just doesn't have a job right now.
Oh. Okay. She'll walk up to him and kind of sit beside him, like lean.
Okay.
Oh, he's so cute. Just say, "Hi, how are you doing today?"
Oh, hi. Okay. You know, I looks up at the sky. It's nice outside today, so that helps, you know.
Yeah. No, I find it helps too. Have you got nothing to be doing at the moment?
No, yesterday after I dropped those cannonballs, Mackie was upset, so he said that I needed to take today off to think about it and to see if I really wanted to be a gunner, which I thought I did. Explosions are cool, you know, but I don't know.
Well, I think it's nice that he gave you at least a day to think about it and reflect. And I guess if you were going to be anywhere to reflect on things and think, the open sea is probably the best place you could be.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It is pretty.
It is pretty, but Halo, how did you end up on this ship?
Oh, well, and you see his eyebrows kind of furrow, and he says, I lived in a place kind of far away from here before. It's the gemstone
Okay. Archipelago?
Yeah, that one. I
Yeah.
lived there. And I don't remember much because I was really young. But I just remember there was a lot of bad people who came to my home, and there was a lot of yelling, and then it was quiet. And I was just underneath my bed for a long time. And then Captain Heather Scott showed up. And he asked me what happened. And he asked me where everybody was. And I didn't know. So instead of just leaving me there, he took me on board. And I've been here for about 3 years now. And between him and Auntie Scar, I mean, it's really the most family I can remember. I kind of look solemnly into the water.
How old were you?
I was about 5 when it happened.
You know, and she's gonna stop leaning and instead kind of crouch down or kneel down in front of him. She's at his eye line. You know, it can hurt a lot to lose people like that. Actually, I was the same age. I was 5. And my parents died in a fire. And I don't think there was bad people, but it was just an accident. And I was lucky, because I was on the bottom floor. That's where my bedroom was, and theirs was on the top floor. So, I lived, and they didn't. But as much as I've forgotten their faces and basically everything about them, I know that my parents loved me very much. I imagine that your parents loved you very much too. And even if Heather Scott and Auntie Scar are the only family that you can remember and think of, family is very much what you make it. And it seems like the people here are as good of a family as you could want.
Yeah. Can I hug you?
Of course you can. Gives him a big hug.
He hugs you really, really tightly. And just kind of stays there for a little bit, and you kind of hear him sniffling, and eventually he lets go, and he looks up at you, and he says, I didn't know there were other people like me. And I'm sorry that that happened to you, but since you're here now, I can be your family if you want.
Halo, I would love that very, very much. And I am so happy to be a part of your family too.
I've never been somebody's big brother before, but I'm ready to start.
Well, I imagine you are going to be the best big brother there has ever been. He kind of like ruffles his hair.
Kind of chuckles a little bit, and he straightens his hair out. Like, how dare you mess up my hair? I spent so much time with hair again. Eurydice, do you mind if I ask you a question?
I don't mind.
So, if I wanted to maybe try and talk to somebody, but I don't really have a reason to talk to them, I just want to, but there's not a reason for me to talk to them. I just... How would you talk to them if you don't have a reason to, but you just want to?
Well, I can see two ways to go about this. First is that you create a reason. So, if I wanted to come and talk to Nalthian, maybe I would grab him a second bowl of food if he hadn't eaten yet, and I'd bring it to him. Or, maybe you don't need a reason. You don't need a reason to talk to someone. You can just go up and say, "Hi, I wanted to talk to you," and then say whatever you want to say.
Okay. Yeah, so it's that easy? You just go and you say, "Hi, I wanted to talk to you," and then you just talk?
Yes, actually, just be brave, have confidence, and smile.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you talk about?
But what do you want to talk about?
I really liked Auntie Scar's dinner the other night.
That is perfect.
Okay.
You've already got this in the bag.
Okay. I'll need some time to think about a strategy and to think about the best way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't want to rush into anything. Because that wouldn't be good.
Okay.
No.
But you've got this.
I've
Got this.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I can do it right now if I wanted to.
If you wanted to, yeah, you could.
I don't want to, though. I can't do it right now, though.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, but I'll do it. Tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Do it tomorrow. I believe in you, and you've got this, buddy.
Okay, alright. You know what? I'm gonna go tell Mackie that I can do it. I can be a gunner. I can do it. I just get distracted sometimes, that's all. But I can do it.
I think that's wonderful.
Good. Alright. Thank you, Eurydice. Thank you. Kind of walks up to you one more time, gives you a hug again. This time without your permission, now that you're officially family. And she... He lets go. Alright. Mackie! Mackie, where are you? He starts like walking around shouting as if he was captain now. And you can see Willow, who is kind of just like sitting near the wheel, just kind of like looking down at Halo with this newfound confidence, and he looks at you and he just kind of points at him and then points at you, and you can see him mouth, "Was that you? Did you do that?"
She nods.
He gives you a thumbs up. Okay, nice job. Okay.
Oh, she's so happy. I'm gonna cry.
So by the way, Grok, just so you know, you were like 20 feet away. So, with your 12 passive perception, you would have heard almost all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you're aware. Alrighty. Rock clocks that. Still, let's see, because was he like whittling? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Literally just whittling a bit of wood.
Yeah. Alrighty. So Alo walks away. And Eurydice, you just kind of have that brief interaction with Willow, and then you sort of look over and you can see Grok just whittling a small piece of wood. Grok, do you acknowledge her at all?
I mean, Grok would have been like looking over, but he wouldn't say anything. He would literally just be leaning against the bow of the ship, just legit, just with a little knife and just kind of staring, I guess. Not in like a menacing way, just like,
Slowly whittling, just staring. Okay. He just smiles and walks away.
Okay. So Eurydice, as you're walking around, and then eventually you get towards the stairs, you can hear coming from down below deck, you can hear it saying, "Listen, Mackie, I know that you said I needed to take a day, but no, I'm not going to take a day. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now, and I promise you, I'm not gonna drop another cannonball. I promise." And Mackie says, "All right, kiddo, fine. If you're listening, you're not gonna. Let's go. Let's work." And the two of them start working together, and this time, the rest of the day, at least just today, Alo drops no more cannonballs. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but today at least, today the little clumsy guy, he's doing all right. Alrighty. So, anybody else have anything they're aiming to do?
I mean, hoping Twick can finish that little book, like the War on the Breach thingy.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, oh golly jeepers. Okay, I think. Let me find my notes real quick on that. I know that I said that last time, but then I just got distracted. So, that virtual tabletop foundry, man, pulled me away. So, alright. So, both reading words for today. Okay, so as you do inform the captain as to your findings, let's see. So you tell him all the things?
I would talk to our group before letting the captain know anything. I would just throwing that out as a reminder.
Okay. So you kind of bring everybody together in the room that you, Twig, and Eurydice share. The five you've gathered on down there. And Izzy does inform you of the information she gathered from the book. So it's up to you guys if you want to do anything with that particular.
Oh, you wrote it in there? Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Has question mark guy, now that it's day 2, has he come around to say anything? I'm just trying to, like, connect, what Izzy's told us to, like, maybe something he's said, maybe talk to Lotus or something about.
Mm-hmm. So he spent most of yesterday and is still spending parts of today with Lotus. But, wait, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, wow, bless you. I heard you in the other room. Nope, and then you stole my sneeze from me. How dare you?
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, God. Okay. So, I would say that he's still with Lotus right now, so he hasn't come to you by the time that Izzy is presenting this information.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you wanted to go and find him and
No,
ask.
not necessarily. Nafi doesn't want to be overbearing with this guy. He's just trying to remember his own name.
I mean, you could see if any of the names like that came up in the book if they were like familiar to him, or like it could just jog his memory.
Right. Then, yeah, after everyone else is doing their thing, Nalf would probably take this information that Izzy presented and just see if any of those names ring any bells or bring back memories, but I can wait till everyone else is done. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry, you sound distant.
No, sorry. I am just looking. This is why I decided to stop doing paper notes, because I just.
Well, and Izzy would ask all of you guys if we should even share this with the captain or keep it to ourselves. Because,
If
I
you're
mean, he
asking.
probably could help, but, I mean, he said if I thought anything was useful, so we're not technically bound to reporting it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, Nalf will share it with question mark guy just to help memory, but I don't know. I think Heather needs to know.
Because like I feel like the most useful things that would actually be in there is like mainly the place, because I imagine he knows the kind of cargo that they would be taking. So it's
Yeah.
like
He was probably part of the cargo, right?
I mean, he does look exotic, you know.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking originally, with the scales and such.
it's like plot
But
twist. He's actually one of the pirates.
Oh, snap.
Okay. So, Malphine, you wanted to give that information to him to see if it triggered anything for him?
yeah, I will later after everyone else is done doing their own things,
Okay.
and just
Well,
check in with Lotus about it.
well, is anybody have anything?
I thought Twig was doing her book.
Well, I hate to delay it another week, but I legitimately cannot find it
Not bad.
anywhere.
It's chill.
Um,
Don't worry about it.
and no, I will. I promise you. Here's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and after the session is over, I promise you I'll find it and I'll let you know what you discover in it, because I know that I have it somewhere. And I don't. The thing is, I don't want to just make up something right now that is not connected to it.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Because I legitimately can't find it anywhere, which blows. But, I promise you I'll send it to you once I have time to look more thoroughly after the session is over. Yes. Okay. So.
And I'll make sure to remind him at the end of our session, too, later.
Yes.
I'll
Well,
be
hopefully
like,
I'll be able to find it before then. Oh. Okay. Jeez, man. Okay. So then, Nalthian, sorry. You are good to do your thing then. To take the information to question mark guy.
You okay?
I'm fine, I think.
Okay, you sound kind of not. Yeah, is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Sure. So, Dalphian, I guess taking that information from Izzy will find his way to Lotus's room and just kind of like check in on both of them.
Okay, yeah. So as you make your way in there, you can see that Lotus and him are just chit-chatting, and really just about nothing, about the weather or the things she uses in alchemy. And as you make your way in, Lotus looks to you and smile, and she says, Well, Nelvian, it's a pleasure to have you here. Would you like to speak with, well, um, we decided to just call him, well, you picked your own name, so I guess it's best if you share it. Yes, I suppose you are right. I thought it would be best, and I know that he's not exactly popular on the ship, but I did like the name Jorah, just to make things easier on everyone.
Well, Jorah. Well met, friend. Nice to see you have something. Just came by. I have a little bit of information for you. Thought it might help knock around some thoughts in that head of yours. Did any of these names ring any bells for you? And, Nelfin will bring up Agatha, uh, the Apocalypse, and, like, the flagship of the Horsemen. Like, just the phrase, Heart from a Flame Genasi. Like, I know they sound like random words, like, probably Lotus is like, what the fuck is he sprouting off? But, like, just kind of buzzwords, throwing it at him, just to see if anything... His eyes twinkle.
The name Agatha. I remember that. Oh my god, I almost sneezed. I do remember that name. I... Let's see. Okay. And you see him close his eyes and breathe. That is who I was being sent
You were being sent to this Agatha person.
to. I do
You
not,
are the cargo, I assume.
I don't know. All I remember is that they told me when Agatha had me, they would be rich men. I do not know why. I wish that I did, but perhaps it is for my skill with linguistics. I am not exactly sure. I do remember that though. I am remembering things. I can remember Lotus was talking to me about places around the world. I can feel sand and warmth. It feels familiar to me.
Uh-huh. Well, you're safe now, so we won't be turning you in. Not today, at least.
Well, good.
But,
It is nice to know that I am on a place that would not sell a person to another.
Well, if you remember anything else, or any thoughts come back to mind, do let us know. I don't think any of us really think it's a good idea to run into any Agatha anytime soon, but if she's looking for you, you never know, so...
Of course. Of course.
If you get a chance, Izzy's the one who discovered this information. Maybe sitting down, having a chat with her might help as well, so...
She is the one with the blue hair, correct?
Long blonde hair, blue smoke. Yeah.
Yes, that is what I... if I think of anything else, or Lotus and I discover anything else, she will be the first person that I go to.
Alright. Well... Dora, now Finn will, like, extend his hand. It's nice to finally meet you.
And it's nice to formally meet you, Nathan. And he reaches out his hand and shakes, and there is a firm handshake, and he's very warm to the touch. And you didn't exactly notice that when he was waterlogged, covered in like wet, salty water, but he is almost like a furnace. You'd think that he almost has a fever, just from how warm he is to the touch. And shake his hand. You note that, and then you head off. So, with that, as all of you are Okay. So that's good. And with that, a few more hours pass until it's maybe 3, 4 p.m., maybe 5. It's starting to get close to sunset. And as all of you are doing your own miscellaneous activities, maybe whittling something else, or meditating, practicing, training, anything that you deem necessary, from above deck you hear the sound of the bell that Sally rings whenever she sees something. Except she is ringing it crazy fast.
I mean, Grok's been staying on deck. Can he see anything? Or is it dark?
It's not dark yet, but you can't see anything. As you sort of peer out into the horizon, you see nothing. And she leans over the railing on the crow's nest, and she shouts down, "Ships! 2 ships! I see 2 ships! 2 ships with red sails! 2 ships with red sails!" And you can see Heather Scott run out, and he shouts back up, "Insignia! Insignia, Sally!" And she looks and stares out for just a little longer, and there's no response. And after a while, but then eventually, she says, "2 white horns on a red background. Curled horns." And Heather Scott, he kind of looks up at her, eyes wide. And then at this point, all of the rest of you are below deck, coming up above deck. He says, all right, gather the crew, raise the sails half-mast. We're going to come in slow. We want 1 on our port and 1 on our starboard. Draw in the cannons. We cannot approach aggressively. And as all of you get up, he says, all right, here's what we're going to do. Those out there are horned corsairs. They are mean, nasty motherfuckers, all right? So what we need to do is we need to approach this diplomatically and then blow them the fuck up, all right? Here's what's going to happen. There are 2 ships. Myself and a few others, we're going to go on 1 ship as emissaries. You 5 are going to do the same to the other ship. Mackie, get me black powder bombs. And Mackie runs down, brings up 6 bombs, gives 3 to Heather Scott as he puts 3 in his bag, and then hands the other 3 to probably Grok. And he says, because we need to go there and we need to talk to them. Because Horned Corsairs, they will not, and they never have, just blown up a ship and let it sink. No, they like to take prisoners. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to that ship and you're going to make a deal. You're going to say, we're going to give you these 2 or 3 people. And I'm going to do the same with Siraroon, Miazzo, and a few others. We're going to go over there, and then here's what's going to happen. You are going to wait for my signal, and then you are going to cause as much havoc as you can. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I do.
You want to cause as much damage, destroy their mast, destroy their sails, destroy their hull, their oars, their cannons, if you can, do as much damage as possible, and then get back on the ship as fast as you can. They will not hesitate, all right? But if their ship is sinking, they're going to prioritize that for hunting us. This ship is faster than theirs. We can outrun them. But they're coming straight at us. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Question. Wait, before I ask this, I gotta make sure AZ knows. Mr. DM, would I know how to sabotage a ship, or if I ask them if there's any way, would that be a reasonable thing for Izzy to ask?
Yeah, that would be a reasonable thing. Just ask how to sabotage one.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because the thing my small plan was maybe disabling the rudder chain.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, that
since I can go underwater.
Okay.
If just so you know where I'm leading to.
Okay, yeah. I get you there. So you would know about that. I'd say you know at least a little bit about ship anatomy because you've sailed before. So that'd be okay.
Okay.
And says, so you're going to go on their ship and you're going to attempt to strike a deal. Remember, you want to plead. They are very selfish, very. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Vain?
Vain, yes, very self-absorbed. If you appeal to that, they will let you talk for as long as you want. But as soon as you see my command, and I don't know exactly what that is yet, but believe me, you'll know it when you see it. You're going to get the hell off that ship, get back on ours, and we are heading straight to Raven Rock. No more stops. It's going to be a little hard to clean up this mess, but I would rather us get to Raven Rock, me pay an exorbitant amount of gold to clear this with the Horn Corsairs Company, than have us be in cages and probably end up like your friend down below deck. So, you're going to do whatever you think. Observe the situation. Don't be stupid. All right?
I think we can handle it.
Good. I believe in you. You got it.
And there's other ways of disabling, right? Like the rudder, maybe?
Yes, if you can disable the rudder, the capstan, damaging that, making sure they can't raise their anchor, that would be even better. All right? Do whatever you can, just make sure they can't follow us and they can't get us in range of their cannons.
All right. I think I might be able to sneak under their ship and disable the rudder. But I can't exactly go on board if I'm doing that, because it'll take me some time.
Correct.
Well, it might
All
be
right.
safe if you don't go on board and see that.
Oh, sorry, Kayla, you're a little quiet.
He just said it might be safer if Izzy doesn't go on board.
Correct, yeah. All right, so then we'll do companies of 4. 4 of you, Izzy, you will go underneath the ship. You'll go there right now. Hide under there for as long as you can. If you need to catch your breath, just make sure that you do it where nobody can see you, all right?
That won't be a problem.
Even better, even better. So, you're going to go underneath the ship, and you are going to stay there for now until we stop, right? As soon as we stop, you can go do whatever you need to do. Just make sure you're back on board the ship by the time we start moving.
Okay. So, first, boom, I guess, will be my thing, and then I will do my boom underwater and then head straight for the ship. Sound
All
good?
right. Sounds good to me.
Is he just waiting for the fucking noise and blow it the fuck up?
That's
It's
what I
not
said.
complicated, just fucking blow
boom.
them up.
Okay.
All right. Good. All right. Everybody in positions. Sally, Alo, down below deck now. And Sally already climbing down the stairs to the crow's nest. Her and Alo run down below deck. And Anti-Scar sort of accompanies the two of them as they head below with Lotus. The rest of them, you can see a few other people getting into order. You can see Siraroon, Heather Scott, Miazzo, and a fourth woman who you haven't met her yet. But she looks to be an elvish woman, definitely in these light leathers, large cutlass at her side. Seems to be a rather talented fighter. So, Heather Scott says, all right, Miazzo, Siraroon, Miss Dre, you're with us. The 4 of you, best of luck. Remember, wait for my signal, all right? Got it?
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. All right. So with that, you can see the ships are maybe 400 feet away, and you can see that Jordik, the half-orc sailing master, is very cautiously moving the wheel, so that way the ship is going to nestle right in between the two much larger vessels, where this is a fairly nice ship, especially for the amount of crew that's on here. But these ones are not twice the size of the Southern Star, but they are quite large. So, as they begin to approach, you can see something a little terrifying. Izzy, you go below deck, not below deck, you go underneath this ship, so you don't get to see this. But the rest of you, as they are slowly approaching, and then there are pieces of wood slapped down to create a bridge between the two ships. You can see that there are not just humans on this ship, but on the one that you two, or that you four are headed to, and on the one that Captain Heather Scott and his people are headed to, there is at least 3 larger-than-life creatures there. They have the legs of a goat, the body and torso of a human, and the face of a very gnarly, nasty goat. Different cut-up scars and bruises, these curled ram horns. And Twig, you've read about them, and Eurydice, you as well. And Brock, you know of the Horned Corsairs. You always heard about it, but you never encountered any of them on your journeys. These are minotaurs. And you can see that the captain of the ship that the 4 of you are beginning to walk over towards is also a minotaur. And you can see that he's not like the others, where the others are dark black and brown furs, with these gnarled, like almost rusty looking weapons to their side. Instead, he is like white maned, and his skin is almost like a light blue with different tattoos all over it. And you can see that his horns are much, much larger and curl around and then up, framing out his face. And he is even a little bit larger than the other 2, or the other 3 minotaurs that are on the ship. The other 2. There's 3 total. So, you can also see that there is crew smattered about the ship. At least above deck right now, there is probably 7 other crewmates aside from the 3 minotaurs. So, as all of you begin to make your way across, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 things for one. I'm going to go ahead and...
You see our little note about Grok's idea about Twig and Yuri will be like the prisoners that we're exchanging.
Oh, no, I did not see that.
Okay, yeah, that was Grok's plan going in. Like,
Okay.
Elf and him would be the ones kind of like the pirates-esque, and Yuri and Twig would be the prisoners.
Okay,
Makes
all right.
sense.
Sounds good to me. So what I'll do here is I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to the battle map. And the only thing about this battle map is there's not a ship right next to you where the Southern Star is, but just use your imagination because there is one, even though there's not one on this battle map.
And
So,
Did you move us, Joe? Oh,
I'm
okay.
moving you right now.
Ooh, big boys.
So, and you can see that the crewmates, they're wearing like normal, blouses and leather dusters and cutlasses. They almost look like butchers, where they're wearing, these sort of leather aprons, and they have these giant masks on to mimic minotaurs. But these people that are normal size, they're definitely human. So as you guys are making your way onto the ship, go ahead and position yourselves how you're going to be approaching.
Well, definitely Yuri and Twig behind me, and I don't know if Nalfian's going to be next to me or behind me, but Twig and Yuri absolutely behind me.
Yeah, Nalf will be right next to you. And I can shadow Nalf. Can I have his token, Joe?
Yes.
Just kind of like
And-
flank either side of Grok, because let's
And-
fucking roll up like that.
Yeah.
And then also a token for
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there you go.
Izzy.
I can't control Shadow Nalf, sorry.
What? Edit. Oh, can we edit and control by now? Yeah. Should be able to.
Ooh, sorry, I can't.
Oh, that, you know what? It's okay. I know what's happening here. Because the token's not Shadow of Nalfian.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah, let me do something.
And by next to Grok, I mean slightly back here, so he's like
My bad, sorry.
by the ladies a little bit more like that.
Okay, dokie.
And
So-
am I still underneath our ship?
No, at this point the ship has stopped, so you'd be free to move wherever you wanted to go now.
That's where the rudder would be.
Okay. Alrighty. So, the four of you, and plus Nalfian Shadow, you begin to make your way onto the ship, stepping cautiously. However, Nalfian and Grok, I'm sure that you're maybe putting on a little
Oh yeah.
on a little show.
I mean, Nalfian's gonna follow Grok's lead, and whatever his demeanor is, I mean, Nalf is putting his faith 100% in Grok on this. And he'll just match that demeanor.
Okay. Alrighty. So, as the four of you make your way on, flanked by Shadow Nalfian, Izzy, you with the rudder chain, ready to enact your plan, and ready to do whatever you can. You see the captain of the ship, the one who is manning the wheel, let go. And you can see he begins to step to the side, and there is another who takes the wheel in his place. And he begins to step to the side and make his way over towards where the four of you are. He doesn't move his way down the stairs.
Real quick question: were we given like a barrel as well? Did I miss that?
No, just they were 3 bombs, so they were just like palm-sized black powder bombs.
Okay, and we have some, correct?
Yeah, Grok has all 3.
Grok has all
Unless
three. Okay.
unless he would have given them to somebody else.
I would have slipped one to Nalfian.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Yeah, it took them a while to approach. Okay, so Nalfian, you with 1, Grok, you with the other 2.
Just so I know, because I don't know boats, and I'm just going off of Sea of Thieves. Are these the like where the anchor would be?
Yeah, those are the capstans.
Thank you. Okay,
Yes.
that's where I'm going.
Okay. So, with that, as all of you are in position, you begin to approach, and you can see the Minotaur begin to make his way towards apparently the captain of the ship. I hate to do it, but I think that I'm gonna need to end the session
Oh.
there
Oh no.
because
What?
I just
What?
I know it's a half an hour early, but I don't
Hold up,
think
but we
that-
started late as well.
I know, but I
Did
don't-
I'm so sorry. But
no, it's okay. No, I just don't think that I have the energy to do it right now. I'm sorry. I know that this is going to be really action packed, and I don't want to take away from that at all. But I'm already kind of tripping over my words quite a bit. And
Nah, you're cool.
I do not feel good right now.
Okay, nerd.
So I feel really, really bad. And believe me, the last thing I want to do is end a half an hour early. But I cannot do this moment justice, and I would rather postpone it than having you guys go through it half-hearted with me
Nah, I get it.
tripping over my
Yeah.
words and stuff. So
I mean-
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
Nah, it's fine. You clearly OD'd on that NyQuil. It's fine.
I know. I thought I took Dayquil. I don't know what's wrong.
Oh, God.
But yes, so sadly that's where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. So believe me, you'll want to come back next week when I apparently I just need to never go outside again. I think that's the key here. So that way I can
Scary place.
do it tomorrow. Oh man, sadly we have the thing tomorrow. It's
I
the-
mean, I am free tomorrow also.
it would have been at work, but I don't work anymore. I'm not.
Well, this is the thing. Oh, I mean, Jamie, are you free tomorrow?
Yep.
So, here's... Oh, man. So what we'll do is we'll do the roll call thing. We'll do that, and then as soon as roll call is over, we will do this moment. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. We won't do a full
But what
session
time are you doing the
tomorrow.
roll call thing?
It starts at the same time as the normal session does. I'm
And
pretty
that goes
sure.
for an hour.
Okay.
I forgot. I think that what I said was it would start at 3. Yeah, so it would start at 3, which is the normal time we start, and it ends at 4. And luckily, Isles is last anyway, so we'll play from 4 to 5, and then just because what I want to do, so this actually segues perfectly, is starting next week, since everybody here can run it, I would like to start the conversion process to Virtual Tabletop Foundry. For when you guys get to Raven Rock, because I've actually been messing with it quite a bit, and I'm really excited for you guys to be able to literally explore a city with the dynamic lighting effects that are there. I think it's gonna be really cool. I'm very excited. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow I'm not gonna go outside at all tomorrow, and hopefully that'll make it better. So we're gonna end the session here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have, tune in tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, every single Sunday, we're gonna be doing a show called Roll Call, where pretty much we have 2 players on from each campaign. We're gonna talk about the campaign. We're gonna talk about D&D, and just kind of have a good time. And then after Roll Call, once that ends, at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, probably from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., we're gonna be doing this thing, and then getting them to Raven Rock, and then tune in next Saturday, where we will finally be in Raven Rock, and the party will be exploring and having a good time. Gonna go see some theater. Gonna go find some cults. All you need to do in D&D. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you if you're tuning in, and I would just like to apologize one more time for the low energy I was having towards the end and even currently. So I think what we should do is we should go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna raid another channel, because that's the nice thing to do, and we'll be back tomorrow then. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and it's gonna take me a second here to. Oh no, I have to pick a channel to raid first though, so I have to go to Twitch. I remember this now. And then I just get to awkwardly kind of go through the browse page of D&D. Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, if anybody has anything that they see that they think would be a good one here.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
All these people are playing in person. That's kind of fun.
Aw. Wish.
Actually sad, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's see.
How's this one looking, actually?
Let's see, where'd you send that at? Isles?
You know what? I'm gonna DM you this one, see what you think of this one.
Okay. So, Pro Aim. He's even got the same name as me.
Hey.
Of course, I'm getting a pre-roll ad. You know what?
Oh, they've just gone on break.
Oh, damn it. Alright. This is awesome.
Like, legit just gone on break.
Okay, let's see here. You know what? I like these guys' overlay. Let's do this one. College of Celiac. Bramblewood and Newsdale. Alright. College of Celiac. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see them.
Yeah. Alright. And there you go. We should be rating now, I believe.
Are we?
Just make sure you hit that button that confirms the raid.
Phew, minutes.
With you.
A channel. Oh,
I think it's like raid now or something.
I thought I did. Man, this is awkward. Okay. Alright, raid channel. I thought I did. College of Celiac. I thought I hit start raid. Did I not?
On my phone it says rating College of.
Oh, yeah, it's raiding now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Maybe it just takes a second.
Yeah, it does. Takes a while.
Right now.
I think it gives people a chance to leave if they don't want to watch.
Oh, it moved me.
Hey, cool.
Hey, oops. Raid. With our cute little 4 or 5 peeps.
Oh, I like the. How do they do the text thing? That's so cool.
Oh, how like they're like kind of like lighting up.
Yeah.
Hey. Their characters are so kawaii.
I know. That just must be their, like, them as... Well, never mind. One of those is definitely a D&D character. At least it looks like.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess, should I end the stream then? Or,
Yes.
No, I guess.
Probably.
Should I? Okay.